Okay, so for everybody on YouTube there, I'm just going to pause it and we'll come back when we're live. So this was just a quick test. We should be back up very shortly. Thank you.
Tristan on the track. It's like a flower, reaching for the sun rays. Hey yo, it's time to reach out. It's so beautiful. Tell me what this is about. People like a new ride. We walk into heaven, we'll find a soul side. Sisters and brothers, we got a new style. United in our hearts, and we're shining bright. It's like a flower germinate, reaching for the sun rays. And once the circle opens up, we receive the light of better ways. Live and give it, it's like a new breeze. We wanted to heaven, now we got a silent gift. A blueprint and the power, we find a new peace. Before we even get it, we're in the middle of the shift. Hey yo, it's time to reach out. It's so beautiful. Tell me what this is about. People, we will make it. No one can stop this energy once it's arrived. Together we can do it. Reach out to the sky. We have no choice. We want to live and survive. It's like a flower germinate, reaching for the sun rays. And once the circle opens up, we see the lines of better ways. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Tristan on the track. Hey yo, it's time to reach out. Hey yo, tell me what this is about. Hey yo, we don't need war anymore. It's so beautiful, it's like an open door. Hello.
Vince, we're already live here. Are you catching this? Vorrei darvi il benvenuto al testo di Parlo in nome di tutti i membri di Mondodò di Each and every one of you. Sono ognuno di voi.
I'm recording a live stream now.
Your presence is loud and clear each and every single day.
La vostra presenza è alta e chiara ogni giorno.
Tonight we are gathered here for a very special event.
Siamo qui radunati stasera per un avvenimento molto speciale.
Not only a special event for those of us present,
Non solo un avvenimento speciale per coloro che sono presenti,
but for everyone around the world.
ma per tutto il mondo.
Tonight we usher in a new era in our history.
Oggi diamo l'inizio a una nuova era della storia.
Our history as many nations,
La nostra storia di tante nazioni,
our history as a race,
la nostra storia come razza umana
and our history as a global family.
e la nostra storia come famiglia globale.
I know I speak on behalf of thousands, if not millions,
So che parlo in nome di migliaia, se non milioni,
from around the world.
fino alla fine della guerra,
New architectural feats,
delle capacità architettoniche nuove,
medical applications,
applicazioni mediche
and new travel opportunities.
e nuove opportunità di viaggio.
As exciting as this event is tonight,
Per quanto eccitante questo avvenimento è questa sera,
this is just the first of many steps in this new and exciting journey we are all about to embark on together.
sono solo i primi passi di una nuova eccitante viaggio sul quale cominciamo tutti assieme.
A journey which will bring to life
Un viaggio che porterà a vita,
the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Roadmap.
porterà il Keshe Foundation World Peace Roadmap.
It has been in the works for a long time,
Ci la stiamo preparando da tanto tempo
and all of us are contributing in our own way.
e tutti noi stiamo contribuendo in nostro modo.
We do it with our experiments,
Lo facciamo con i nostri esperimenti,
our posts on social networks,
i nostri post sui social network,
our videos, and our comments.
i nostri video e i nostri commenti.
Even those who seem to detract from our efforts
Anche quelli che provano a portarci via i nostri sforzi
are also contributing in their own way.
stanno contribuendo anche loro in maniera loro,
For with every challenge comes an opportunity for growth.
perché per ogni difficoltà c'è sempre un'opportunità di crescita
And one day we will all celebrate this journey together.
e un giorno celebreremo tutti questo viaggio assieme.
So again, we would like to thank each and every single one of you tonight
Perciò di nuovo vorremmo ringraziare ogni singolo persona stasera
for your support.
per il vostro supporto.
Keep doing what you do, and let's continue on this journey together.
Continuate a fare quello che state facendo e continuiamo questo viaggio assieme.
I've been told you're in for an exciting evening tonight.
Mi hanno detto che sarà una serata molto eccitante stasera
And with that, I'll keep getting in the way of history.
e con questo smetterò di mettermi a bloccare la storia.
Without further ado,
Senza continuazione,
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome
Signori e signori, aiutatemi a dare il benvenuto
the pioneer of this new era,
al pioniere di questa nuova era,
our tour guide on this journey,
il nostro guida turistica su questo viaggio,
Mr. Mehran Tavakoli Keshe.
signor Mera.
Your Excellencies, the honorable members, and distinguished guests. I welcome you to this, as our colleague said, a journey for mankind. Tonight, if you've been with Keshe Foundation, you see something new. If you haven't been with Keshe Foundation, you will see something which might not look real to you. Are you translating? Yeah.
Stasera, se siete già stati nella Fondazione Keshe, conoscete già, se no stasera lo vedrete per la prima volta.
This is the third ambassadorial meeting for peace,
Questo è il terzo incontro di ambasciatori per la pace.
and we have seen the first phase of this success between the peace between Iran and the United States, which happened after the second meeting of the world ambassadors.
Abbiamo già visto dopo il secondo incontro di pace degli ambasciatori il successo con il ravvicinamento del presidente dell'Iran e dell'America.
On the 6th of September 2012, when we gave the second ambassadorial meeting, the following on the 6th of November, on the re-election of President Obama, the American government asked for the key of the technology. And in that meeting between the Keshe Foundation,
Il 6 novembre, dopo questo primo incontro, il secondo incontro degli ambasciatori della pace, già il 6 novembre è stato richiesto la chiavetta con tutta la tecnologia del signor Keshe
in that meeting, when I handed over the key to the technology to the ambassadors, I put the hand of peace from Iran to the Americans, and I said, this is the hand of peace.
Quando
Let's talk.
Quando io presento questa chiave all'America, gli ho dato
It's yours.
la mia mano della pace come rappresentante dell'Iran.
And we've seen 2.5 years later, 3 years later, we have achieved peace.
Come vediamo 3 anni e mezzo dopo,
And now, with this new technology, we put the hand of peace to all the nations in one go.
adesso oggi con tutta questa nuova tecnologia offriamo la mano di pace a tutte le nazioni.
The way we put the hand of peace out is we give you a new technology, and instead we ask for peace.
Il modo che facciamo questo è che noi vi doniamo la nuova tecnologia e chiediamo in scambio la pace.
Keshe Foundation is a space technology based, not the energy based.
Il Keshe Foundation, la sua base è energia spaziale.
What we learn for space, we feed down directly to public for use for creating peace.
Questa tecnologia della pace proponiamo di portarla direttamente all'utilizzo dell'umano qui sulla Terra.
What you will see tonight is not energy for light, or heat. This is energy which the man needs in any condition in the space: food, material, heating, medicine, even creating new conditions to be able to live in.
Questo non è solo uno scambio di energia, questo mette l'umano, che sia in spazio o in qualsiasi spazio, capace di darsi nutrimento, acqua e tutte le energie necessarie.
When we introduced this technology some 4 years ago, 5 years ago, in open, because it was nuclear based, we were harassed and we called it terrorist organization.
Quando noi presentammo originalmente 4 anni fa tutto ciò, come ci sono delle basi nucleari, ci hanno trattato come se fossimo terroristi.
So, as I'm a nuclear physicist, I've changed it to do the same thing without the present science ever detecting radiation.
Allora, come sono un nucleofisicista, sono riuscito a cambiare questi elementi e togliere tutti elementi nucleari.
Some of you who don't know, or some of you who know, I have written a number of books. I have published a number of papers. I have, with the help of a lot of people around the world, developed a new technology that allows man to work in the condition of a space.
Io ho sviluppato una tecnologia che permette all'uomo di essere capace di sopravvivere nello spazio.
So what you see is taken some 40 years to develop.
Mi ha preso 40 anni a sviluppare ciò.
The whole of people around the Keshe Foundation and
Tutte le
around the world
persone della Keshe Foundation intorno al mondo
are all waiting for this box.
stanno tutti aspettando per questa scatola.
This box has become the holy grail of science.
Questa scatola è diventato il santo graal della scienza.
All it is a replication of sun.
Tutto quello che è la replica del Sole.
All it does, it releases plasma that then the man decides what this plasma is going to be.
Rilascia gas che l'uomo decide in che modo lo vuole utilizzare.
So, if you ask around the world, this has never been possible.
Intorno al mondo non è mai stato possibile prima d'ora.
Creating energy from free plasma has been a dream.
Creare energia da il plasma libero è stato un sogno.
The ones who've been around the Keshe Foundation can tell you it's very easy.
Chi è stato intorno alle fondazioni Keshe vi potrà dire che è molto facile.
What we've done, we have taken normal materials,
Abbiamo
Copper,
preso
zinc.
materiali normali
and what we've done for the first time has released a molecular structure to atomic structure, which is a single atom.
La struttura molecolare in struttura atomica con una atom singolo.
This is what you call nanomaterials.
Questo si chiama materiali nano.
We have made it so much easy to make nanomaterials
Abbiamo reso molto facile fare materiali nano.
that in one of the videos on the internet, a Chinese 5-year-old girl makes it in the house.
Che una bambina nel Cina ha potuto fare questo materiale in casa sua.
This material has been tested by numerous organizations
Questo materiale è stato testato da varie organizzazioni
and has been confirmed to be what we say.
ed è confermato quello che noi diciamo.
But what we've done, we've gone a step further.
Ma abbiamo portato questo un passo avanti.
We have allowed the matter in an atomic nano layer,
Abbiamo lasciato che
atomic nano layer to be
il strato di
separated,
nano
into single plasmas.
di separarlo e farlo diventare un elemento singolo.
And all the supporters of Keshe Foundation around the world, they do it in everywhere you can imagine.
E tutti quelli della Keshe Fondazione intorno al mondo sono riusciti a fare lo stesso.
What we've done is that now each plasma is like a sun. It's an individual entity.
Il plasma è come un sole, un'identità solare, il plasma.
So, in fact, if you look into the structure of the plasma,
Se guardate la struttura del plasma,
the sun is a plasma.
il sole è un plasma.
And these are the papers and documents. You can carry on going forward, it's no problem. So, what it is, we have brought the sun in a cup.
Abbiamo portato il sole in una tazza.
So, what we have done is now that we have these little suns,
Adesso che abbiamo questi piccoli soli,
we do with it what we like.
possiamo fare quello che vogliamo.
In a simple way, if you understand, is that when the sun
Modo semplice,
releases its energy,
quando il sole rilascia la sua energia,
as it slows down in different planets,
mentre si rallenta in diversi pianeti,
on the Earth atmosphere creates nitrogen,
l'atmosfera terrestre crea il nitrogeno.
and an other planet produces what that might be, as it changes, reduces its energy.
Invece su altri pianeti si riduca l'energia e si sviluppano altri elementi.
So what we do now is we decide what that energy is going to be.
Allora noi decidiamo quale sarà lo sviluppo di questa energia.
And what you see, which this system is the beginning of a cycle. This is not the
Quello che
ultimate.
vedete è l'inizio di un ciclo in questo sistema.
This system is literally like a sun. It releases energy, plasma, in enormous amount.
Rilascia energia plasma in enorme quantità.
It's you now that decides what it needs to be. You decide what would like the energy to end up as.
Voi decidete cosa volete trasformare questa energia in cosa.
If you like, in a simple way, you can make it into light.
In modo semplice lo potete far diventare luce.
If you like, you can change it into food and fruit.
Puoi far diventare frutta o nutrimento,
You can change it into medicine.
o lo puoi far diventare medicina.
And if you want to use it, you can use it in a special new systems to create flight with no rocket propulsion.
O lo potete mettere dentro un nuovo sistema in quale potete volare senza
You
nessuna
got to stop
propulsione a
that. Stop it,
razzo.
please. So the strange thing is, this is surprising to you,
Questo è
is that
strano.
if you have come, for example, from United States to here,
Siete
If you-
arrivati,
you got to stop or I have to stop. You can't jump in till I stop. Okay. So if you have come from United States and you brought with yourself now a 110 volt system, you cannot use it in this country.
se arrivate dall'America con un sistema elettrico di 110 watt, qui in Europa non lo potete utilizzare.
If you brought or take a system from Europe to America, you can't use it.
E se portate un sistema elettrico dall'Europa in America non lo potrete utilizzare.
Because we continuously decide what has to be done through electrons. The electrons' vibration dictates our power.
Le vibrazioni degli elettroni decidono la quantità di potere.
For the first time, if you understood that you have a freedom with the plasma, you decide what that system going to use as you move around the world.
Col plasma invece ogni sistema può essere adattato e lo potete cambiare dipendendo su quale luogo del pianeta siete.
What you're going to see today, it breaks all the rules of physics. But this is what the plasma is. You can have your European system, 220, and we have brought you a water system from the United States. You don't need any conversion because the system converts as you need. This means a change in the whole philosophy of energy. You don't need adapters. You choose to create 210 or 110 or 240 or 12 volts, literally at your will.
Potete scegliere a volontà usare 240, 110, dovunque, a vostra volontà da adesso in poi.
At the same time, from the same terminal, as you can see, we brought you system that you can see. These are the European system. From the same flock, the same system, you can see, you can run both. This has never been done.
Potete
So, what you understand? Earlier.
Questi due elementi erano uno a 240 e uno a 110 e possono essere utilizzati allo stesso tempo.
But it has a huge advantage.
E ha un vantaggio enorme.
In third world nations like African nations,
Nelle nazioni del terzo mondo
you don't need to spend millions for power generators, for dams, for power stations.
non avete più bisogno di spendere milioni per creare dei generatori o fare delle dighe per l'elettricità.
And you don't need to wait for the handouts from the West.
E non avete bisogno di aspettare la carità dall'Occidente.
In the places of war like Palestine, you don't need to wait if they're going to repair your power station. You can do it yourself at home.
Adesso paesi come la Palestina non dovranno aspettare per sapere se il loro generatore elettrico sarà riparato, lo possono fare loro da soli da casa.
You can do it with local materials. You don't need to import anything.
Potete sempre farlo con materiali locali, non c'è mai bisogno di importare niente.
And if you understood the change from 220, 240 to 110 at the same point, you understand very easily you can change into the energy of the orange, a medicine, and consume it at no cost.
Quando avrete capito come la sorgente 240 watt o 110 watt possono venire dalla stessa sorgente, allora saprete come cambiarlo che diventa un arancio o qualsiasi cibo o medicina.
This unit is made by Keshe Foundation in China, by
Questo
the
è
doctor.
fatto dal Keshe Foundation in Cina.
This is made by Armenian American citizen, which creates left and high power flux.
Questo è creato da un scienziato armeno cittadino americano e crea accesa e può volare.
So you understand one simple thing. This new unit, what we call MAGRA, which is magnetic gravitational,
Questa unità MAGRA, che è magnetismo gravitazionale,
we can produce, create jobs and food and energy in your own nations.
potete portare nella vostra nazione energia e nutrimento da questa stessa scatola.
The only difference is, as the ambassadors, you are here, we have done all the work for you.
L'unica differenza è che voi ambasciatori che siete qua presenti, noi abbiamo fatto tutto il lavoro per voi.
We give you the unit,
Vi regaliamo l'unità,
the same as what we did before in the Second World Peace.
come abbiamo fatto nel secondo incontro di ambasciatori per la pace,
We give you the blueprint.
e vi regaliamo anche i blueprint.
You take it home, you give it to your nation, you give it to your scientists, you give it to every citizen to produce it.
Lo portate a casa, lo portate ai vostri presidenti e ai vostri scienziati e all'umanità del vostro popolo, in modo che ognuno ne possa usufruire.
You walk your nation into richness of food, energy, and space, and materials.
Li portate in provvigionamento di energia, nutrimento e anche viaggio nello spazio.
It costs you in your countries less than $10 to a household to free them from everything.
Vi costerà soltanto $10 a casa per avere la libertà energetica.
Keshe Foundation person now in Ghana is teaching in Ghana to the Ghana Space Institute, Ghana Energy Center, Ghana Energy Ministry for the Ghanese to produce this.
Adesso uno della fondazione Keshe di Ghana è in Ghana e ha portato questo e stanno già producendo questo per portare nutrimento e energia per la nazione del Ghana.
Tomorrow, the head of Ghanaian Space Agency, Dr. Kala, is here to take a unit for back to the Energy Ministry to start reproducing the units for Ghana to become energy sufficient within the next 6 to 12 months.
Il Ghana entro 6 a 12 mesi, perché oggi un ambasciatore porterà un'unità lì, entro 6 mesi sarà libero energeticamente.
Today in Nigeria, Keshe Foundation member is teaching the Nigerian authorities how to produce this to walk Nigeria out of lack of electricity, food and medicine.
Un rappresentante della Keshe Foundation nigeriano porterà questo al suo governo per renderli indipendenti per medicina e per nutrimento.
Behind you, there are members of Chinese Keshe Foundation, which are taking units back for the President of China within next week to be delivered to His Excellency President Xi.
Dietro di voi seduti ci sono dei rappresentanti della Fondazione Keshe della Cina che porteranno al governo cinese tutto ciò.
Behind you, there is a member who's flying tomorrow to take a unit to His Excellency the President of Armenia and then the President of Georgia, and hopefully within next week, if he's allowed, he flies to see President Putin to hand over one to the Russian government.
E anche dietro di noi c'è un rappresentante della Keshe Foundation che porterà lo stesso al governo dell'Armenia, ai scienziati dell'Armenia, della Georgia e entro una settimana noi speriamo anche al presidente della Russia.
Amongst you, there is a man who I respect highly. He sacrificed his life. He brought the solution of the Keshe Foundation to Fukushima. He helped TEPCO to be able to reduce the nuclear radiation in the waters of Fukushima. and he's among us. He will take a unit tomorrow back to Japan, to the imperial family of Japan, to distribute back to Japan. That now that they're short of energy in so many ways with the nuclear problem, they can support the nation.
Con noi stasera c'è anche un signore che ha sacrificato la sua vita, lavora per la Keshe Foundation, anche lui, e ha portato delle grandi soluzioni alla radioattività in Fukushima. E anche lui domani porterà un unit alla famiglia imperiale giapponese.
These are all members of the Keshe Foundation around the world.
Questi sono tutti i membri della Keshe Foundation in giro per il mondo.
We give you the unit free, but it has a condition. Use the unit, the knowledge, the energy, the food to bring peace in your nation and make peace with the rest of your neighbors.
Noi regaliamo tutto ciò gratis, però a una condizione: che utilizzate questa tecnologia per liberare il vostro paese e dategli la pace e invocate la pace con tutte le nazioni vicine.
We give you access to all the teachings of the Keshe Foundation, how to make everything from the energy, the food, the medicine, free.
Vi diamo accesso a tutta la tecnologia, a tutta la conoscenza, come fare l'energia, come fare il nutrimento, come fare l'energia gratis.
One condition, help us to help you, that by having everything your nationals need, it brings peace amongst us on this planet.
Aiutateci a portarvi tutta questa tecnologia, tutte le assistenze per come usare queste tecnologie alle vostre nazioni.
There is a very big question and a problem for you as ambassadors.
C'è una grande domanda e problema per voi ambasciatori.
Last time we gave you 2 years to share the knowledge with your people.
L'ultima volta vi abbiamo dato 2 anni per compartire la conoscenza con il vostro paese,
Till we open our patents worldwide for every citizen.
fino a che noi abbiamo aperto tutti i patenti in tutto il mondo a tutti i cittadini del pianeta.
This time we give you 10 days.
Questa volta vi diamo solo 10 giorni.
In 10 days' time, we open our patents.
Tra 10 giorni noi apriamo i patenti.
We teach every citizen on this planet how to make a unit to be independent of governments, independent of energies, independent of medicine, independent of food.
Insegniamo a ogni cittadina del pianeta come essere indipendente dell'energia, del nutrimento,
Medicine.
e la medicina.
You want to test it, you can do it. You want to take it, you can do it. You don't. The Keshe Foundation supporters runs into millions across the world. In every nation, there is a Keshe Foundation supporter base for existing.
C'è una base della Keshe Fondazione in ogni paese.
So this time you have 10 days,
Perciò questa volta avete solo 10 giorni,
no more.
non di più.
If I open this box,
Se apro questa scatola,
you'll find out when people have everything, do they need governments?
se il popolo umano conosce tutta questa conoscenza, avrà bisogno di un governo?
Then is there a need for ambassadors?
Ci sarà bisogno di ambasciatori nel futuro?
Because when we have everything, we are at peace, we become one nation.
Quando avremo tutti e abbiamo tutto, diventiamo una nazione unica.
Instead of spending money on arms, When you have no enemies, the money will spend on the citizens.
Quando non ci sarà più bisogno di finanziare gli armamenti, sarà ora di finanziare i popoli umani.
This is a very powerful system
Questo è un sistema molto potente
for Western nations.
per le nazioni dell'Occidente.
In Africa, in a third world nation, you can make it as small as this.
Per le nazioni dell'Africa si possono fare piccoli come questo
It gives you energy for 30, 40 years.
e ti dà energia per 30-40 anni.
You don't need to recharge it, you don't need to refuel it.
Non c'è bisogno di ricaricarlo né di mettergli niente.
If you use it, you can have enough to feed yourself, to heat yourself, to light yourself at no cost.
Se lo utilizzate, vi potete nutrire, riscaldare a costo zero.
So it's very simple. 10 days is long enough.
È molto semplice. 10 giorni sono lunghi abbastanza.
It's how fast you want to translate the knowledge to your governments and tell them what is about to happen.
E questi sono 10 giorni, la velocità che ci vuole per dichiarare ai vostri governi quello che sta per succedere.
I'll tell you something very simple. We are a modern technology institute. This is the USB stick with a full design, with a full specification, shows you how to make the system, how to connect it, and how to get energy from it.
Questo è l'USB che vi spiega come costruirlo, come connetterlo e come utilizzarlo.
We will, for the countries which they need mass production, give you even the machinery to produce it.
Per i paesi che hanno bisogno di una produzione massiccia, vi daremo anche tutti gli strumenti per creare una fabbrica.
In one of the flips, you saw the key, the USB stick. That's where all the patents were released. It's the same principle.
Questo è lo stesso principio del primo USB stick che è stato rilasciato qualche anno fa.
Which ambassador would like to be the first to receive the free energy?
Qual è il primo ambasciatore che vuole ricevere l'energia libera?
Would you like one?
Ne volete uno?
Please, help yourself. Of course.
Venite.
I'll give you one. I hope you're still ambassador in 1 year time.
Spero che sarai ancora ambasciatore tra un anno.
When we make one nation out of this planet, we have no ambassadors. We're all friends and brothers.
Spero anche se diventiamo
I hope you're coming too.
anche se diventiamo una nazione unica, saremo sempre degli amici.
Everything you need. If you find a problem, call me back. I'll give you one.
Con tutto quello che hai bisogno. Se hai un problema, chiamami.
You're from Palestine.
Yes. We need it for
You should. I hope this brings peace between you and
But
Israel.
we need the what?
I hope this brings peace between you and Israel.
We hope so.
We hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We don't tell you which nation you come from. If you want, you can introduce yourself.
Liberia. The governor representation of Liberia.
Ambassador of Liberia. I have to get you a key, madam. I do apologize.
Thank you.
Which country you come
From
from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Our ambassador is here. We have our ambassador in Nigeria. He will come and teach you. He is one of the dearest friends of the foundation, and he was supposed to be here. He couldn't get a flight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you can enjoy it. We try to share knowledge with you freely, but use our knowledge to create peace, because otherwise we have not served humanity. Thank you very much. On 26th of this month, 1,000 units per day will be manufactured in Italy. We will raise the production to 1 million a month by November and December to make sure every Italian has one. Thank you very much. From Belarus. Now,
Saranno prodotti in Italia.
you got to get it yourself.
Saranno
3 of them he needs.
in modo che ogni italiano potrà accedere.
Ahmed, you got to get it. Arman is one of the leading scientists in nanotechnology in Keshe Foundation. I have a lot of respect for him. He's Armenian. He's taking 3 units tomorrow to meet the president of Armenia, Georgia, and hopefully to Moscow to meet with President Putin to give the same technology equal. Thank you very much. You get that. I'll give you 3 minutes. No, I'll give you. Very well. Would you like to?
Keshe Foundation dell'Armenia adesso porterà fiducia a
This man
Armenia e a Siria.
This man has put his life to serve humanity. He is the only man who took risk to save Japan with Fukushima, and the only thank he got from TEPCO and the Prime Minister of Japan was to be sacked from his position, because he released the name of Keshe Foundation to be given technology to TEPCO. He is now a member of Keshe Foundation, and through our contacts, the unit, which we've been waiting for, the last unit he took from us, they stole from him in the airport. Now this time he carries it. Would you like to come? All 3 of you. Let me explain to you why we have 3 people for China. Keshe Foundation in China is very big. They have their own laboratory, they have their own centers. So they have sent more or less 1 from each center around China to take 1 back for a president. So they're all the same. We're all one family. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I know that a number of nations around the world, please do not open the blueprint unless in the hand of the president.
Sure, sure.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you indeed.
Questi sono 3 rappresentanti della Keshe Foundation in vari stati della Cina.
Thank you very much indeed. All the best. I hope we can serve you well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
know
you very much.
President Xi. We give 1 to the children of the world. You want 1? Thank you very much. Said that number. What is interesting is sharing knowledge is so easy. Why do we fight for knowledge to be better than each other?
Impartire la conoscenza è facile, perché lottiamo per competere l'uno con l'altro?
I have a news for you.
Io ho notizie per voi.
This thing is damage proof.
Questa cosa non può essere distrutta.
You cannot, it can melt and it still will work.
La potete sciogliere e funzionerà comunque.
It's a solid state
È solido.
and there is nothing you can do with it.
Non ci puoi fare niente,
Will
non la
still
puoi
work,
distruggere.
will still serve you.
E ti servirà comunque.
It's like a human race, it'll survive.
È come la razza umana, sopravviverà.
In so many ways, we gave you the path to the peace. It's for you to walk it.
Noi vi abbiamo dato il sentiero alla pace, adesso sta a voi camminare.
I can explain a lot, I can talk a lot, but I teach every day on the internet and in my teaching classes.
Posso spiegare e parlare tanto e infatti insegno tutti i giorni anche per internet all'università.
If you understood, or you could explain to your scientists and they tell you you're crazy, it doesn't work, the simple work of this is 220 and 110 from the same source. Change it, use the plasma to feed your nation. You can put one station very much like this in a village and people can receive the energy they need.
Potete mettere uno strumento come questo dentro un paese e ogni persona potrà prendere quello che avrà bisogno. Il modo di far vedere ai vostri scienziati è molto semplice. Fate vedere i due sistemi di watt diversi che escono dalla stessa sorgente di energia.
If you could understand what this technology is going to do, it makes the African nation extremely richer than the Western nation.
Quello che succederà in Africa quando implementeranno questa tecnologia farà sì dell'Africa delle nazioni molto più ricche che quelle occidentali.
I explain to you what's going to happen.
Vi spiegherò quello che succederà.
There is a piece of news I have not told you.
C'è una notizia che non vi ho detto.
If you connect this system in a specific way to your car,
Se voi connettete questo sistema in un modo preciso alla vostra macchina,
it can reduce your fuel consumption up to 70%.
vi abbasserà la consumazione del petrolio del 70%.
If you have LED lights, everything at home is free. If you have a fridge, it's 100% free. If you use up to 2 kilowatts heating, you pay 40% in the Western world.
Per tutti gli utilizzi di casa, frigo, televisione e tutto l'utilizzo elettrico a casa sarà consumazione gratis.
So now you understand why Africa is going to be very rich.
Perciò l'Africa comincia una rinnovazione.
In the West, people start reducing the consumption of the oil in the next 6 months. When we produce 1 million units a month in Italy, you can understand how the national income of Italy from taxation of fuel will disappear in no time, in the next 6 months.
Quando nell'Italia saranno prodotti e utilizzati 1 milione di unità,
But
ci
Italy,
sarà un abbassamento.
Italy still has to pay for the power stations and the refineries, which have paid billions for next 30, 40 years, which the African nations don't have that problem.
Però le nazioni occidentali, anche se il popolo non consumerà più tutti i centri energetici in quali sono stati milioni di investimenti, l'Africa non avrà questo problema.
If you have a problem, if your scientists have a problem, keshefoundation.org. Send us a message. We'll respond to you very rapidly. Who's got the flipper? We tried to show you something very simple. The scientists of the Keshe Foundation supporters in Brazil, in Mexico, and in South America are running a lot of tests on agriculture.
Gli scienziati in Brasile stanno facendo molti test.
We show you something very interesting.
Vi mostro una cosa molto interessante.
Your agricultural harvest increases by 3, 4, or 5-fold by just using different direction of the technology.
L'agricoltura aumenterà del 5 volte
If you
utilizzando
if you put, for example, banana on top of a glass of water, the way we showed,
se voi mettete una banana su un bicchiere di acqua
and separate the atomic structure to its plasma structure,
e mettete la struttura atomica a sua struttura di plasma,
you transfer all the taste, all the energy of the orange into water.
trasferite tutto il gusto e l'energia all'acqua.
When you drink the water,
Quando bevete l'acqua,
you have drank orange
è
with
come
all
se
its
avete
benefits.
bevuto tutti i benefici di una spremuta.
And the Chinese have done that. Actually, the best specialist in this is a Nigerian, and he's teaching it in Nigeria, how people can feed themselves. Everybody have an orange with one orange.
Stanno già insegnando come usare questo in Nigeria, dove migliaia di persone possono accedere ai benefici di un arancio solo.
If you've been around the Keshe Foundation, the other thing we promised is this, as agriculture, usually 2 corn on a stem, they find 3 corns on each junction. And the plant grows 30-40% taller than the others. So you have a lot of foliage for the animals too.
Allora c'è 30-40% di più anche per il mais.
This is what has been promised a long time.
Questo è stato promesso da tanto tempo.
You can see it yourself. Is not just a history. Everything is scientifically. Somehow this thing doesn't work. That I can show you what I want to show you.
È scientificamente provato.
You see this? This is the wire inside the house, which as you use the power, it gets nano-coated inside.
Il filo elettrico di casa vostra, man mano che utilizzate questo potere, il filo diventa come se il nano penetra tutto il filo elettrico.
Then you find out you created what the West is spending millions on, billions on, the best natural superconductor. All your stations, all your lines will go nano-coated, the same as your bone. It's the structure of nanomaterial. And what you see on the top, for the first time, we know how to produce protein from air. What you see, the fat on the top, is a protein.
Noi sappiamo produrre adesso la proteina direttamente dall'aria.
You can feed your nation free of charge.
Potete nutrire la vostra nazione gratis.
Most of you have never seen CO2 in the liquid state.
La gran parte di voi non ha mai visto CO2 in forma liquida.
If you understand the work of the universe on this earth,
Se capite il lavoro dell'universo su questa terra,
we have learned how this plant absorbs CO2,
noi abbiamo capito come la pianta assorbe il CO2.
and you do it. Then you release its energy in the boxes you can. Now, we have understood how plants work, and we have replicated it.
Abbiamo fatto una replica del lavoro delle piante.
You don't see, as I always say in my teachings, you don't see any engines, no magnet. But this thing, for billions of years, have been absorbing carbon from the atmosphere. Now, this white thing is a carbon.
Noi abbiamo
It costs you less than 2 cents to produce.
Abbiamo visto come il mondo vegetale ha
All you
fatto
do,
questa trasformazione per migliaia di anni e adesso noi siamo capaci di farlo.
all you do, you paint what you nano-coated at no cost, so the energy goes back on the plate and it's your free energy.
Poi avete poi una piastra
That's
che
how simple it
mettete
is.
in questa forma trasformata e avete l'energia.
I worked for a long time in Africa and I paid myself on promise. And that was years ago. No African child will sleep hungry anymore. And this is my promise complete.
Io ho giurato anni fa, quando ho lavorato in Africa, che nessun bambino africano morirebbe più del fame. E adesso finalmente questo è il mio servizio.
Now you can take these units to your nation and feed them free.
Adesso potete portare queste unità alle vostre nazioni e nutrirli.
That's the energy of the sun. If you take it to Palestine, I'm sure Israelis will love you. Will make
Questa
you
energia dal sole, se lo porti in
share it amongst you.
Palestina,
You're one nation.
sicuro la vostra
Thank you very much.
vi adorerà.
So you've got 10 days, ambassadors.
Perciò avete solo 10 giorni.
On 26th of October, we release all the units which we are selling, and we teach everybody to do what they like with it.
Tra 10 giorni noi libereremo tutte queste conoscenze a tutta l'umanità e gli daremo la libertà di fare quello che vogliono.
But this is just the beginning.
Ma questo è solo l'inizio.
If you understand how you can use the power of this plasma in the right way,
Se capite come usare nel modo giusto questo plasma,
as I have promised to Ghanaian Space Institute, they'll be faster on the moon and the Mars than the American NASA organization.
ho giurato agli armeni che saranno i primi sulla Luna e su Marte.
Because she's here tomorrow. She couldn't get a flight to arrive. She was in Vienna. She would have
Non
been here with
poteva
us
essere
today.
presente.
You need no landing strip. You don't need deep sea swimming pool to teach astronauts. The condition, because you work on the atmospheric condition, is like the way you get a jet plane, you come to Italy as ambassadors.
Dallo stesso modo che gli ambasciatori hanno preso un jet per venire qua, anche andare nello spazio adesso non ci sarà bisogno di preparazione dell'astronauta per tutti gli spazi diversi, perché si può controllare e tenerlo come un aereo.
We help you to come to space with us on a condition that you sign the World Peace Treaty. No wars, no arms. Spend the money of arms on developing the new technology.
Noi
And we
vi
support you.
invitiamo nello spazio con noi, ma a condizione che firmate il trattato di nessuna guerra e
The only
nessun
difference-
armamento.
The only difference is, in 10 days' time, your nationals will do it, you have to follow them.
Tra 10 giorni i vostri connazionali lo faranno e perciò anche voi li dovrete seguire.
In every nation, can I ask how many different nations are here you've flown in today?
Quante nazioni sono qua presenti? Io chiedo.
We have, I know, from Venezuela, what do you call it, from New Zealand, China, Japan, Italy, from United States, Norway, Iraq. Wow, thank you very much for being here. Armenia, the ambassador of Armenia. Thank you very much. He's going to see your president in a very short time. He'll be there flying out tomorrow. Pardon? Romania? Malta. Oh, yes. Austria. Portugal. Sweden. These are all, pardon? Poland. Pardon? Germany. You're welcome. Keshe Foundation is around the world as one family. We have broken all the rules of the present science.
La
Once,
Keshe Fondazione è una famiglia unica e noi abbiamo rotto tutte le leggi della scienza presente.
we learn something, we don't pattern it. We go on the next teaching and we teach everybody else what we've done.
Noi impariamo qualcosa e non mettiamo i patenti, andiamo avanti, scopriamo e compartiamo.
Doctors, scientists, actually the Nigerian guy who's an expert in this technology, he's a barber in London, but he's Nigerian. He stopped his work, now he's only works for Keshe Foundation developing new technologies.
Il presente signore nigeriano originalmente lavorava a un bar a Londra, adesso lavora solo per la tecnologia e domani partirà per la Nigeria.
As you see on the screen, it's a new horizon for the man. And
Come potete vedere dal sole c'è un nuovo orizzonte che si sta levando,
knows no nation, no boundary, no culture. It's equal to all of us.
che non conosce nessuna nazione né frontiera, che è uguale a tutti noi.
And it's like the Keshe Foundation, we are the same.
E come la Fondazione Keshe, siamo tutti uguali.
If you want to proceed, if you want to carry on developing, we support you. You've seen it. Anything you can use has no barriers. This is the help pad made by Keshe Foundation Philippines. All it is.
Questo è il health plan.
I have somebody who used it on Monday. He's a holy man. He's a priest from Vatican, but he's in a personal capacity here. It's got nothing to do with Vatican. What do you call it? The Pope doesn't like him to be here as his ambassador, but he's here in his own capacity. The reason being is that on Monday when I was with him, he had a pain in his finger. How is the finger? Good? It moves? And all it is the same system as you have with you in your box.
È lo stesso sistema che dentro la scatola,
Adopted.
ma adattato.
All you do, you put it on the pain point.
Lo metti sul punto del dolore.
Usually within 10 seconds, the pain disappears. It doesn't disappear. It's a scientific explanation for it.
Normalmente entro 10 secondi sparisce. C'è una ragione scientifica per ciò.
In Africa, it costs less than 10 cents to produce.
In Africa costerebbe solo 10 centesimi. a
You can
produrre.
reduce the pain, a lot of pains. We
Si
have
può usare
released,
sul dolore perché ce n'è tanto dolore.
we have released systems which can be done by any man around the world to save himself.
Abbiamo rilasciato sistemi che possono essere costruiti da qualsiasi umano per salvare se stesso,
From hunger,
dalla
from pain,
fame, dal dolore,
and lack of energy.
alla mancanza dell'energia.
By the end of November, there will be 1 million pieces of this around Italy, will be distributed.
Entro la fine di novembre ci saranno milioni di queste unità, saranno distribuiti in tutta Italia.
Tomorrow at 9 o'clock European time, Keshe Foundation Philippines does the same thing with the scientists and the Philippines and people to celebrate the same sharing of the knowledge with the nation.
Domani mattina nelle Filippine la nazione, i scienziati
This is the Keshe
della Keshe
Foundation,
Foundation
Keshe Foundation
nelle
Philippines.
Filippine rilascerà le stesse cose.
You put this material on a tissue paper,
Metti questo materiale Gani su un tessuto di carta
and then you apply it in different way for different paints.
e poi lo metti per applicazione per vari strumenti, per vari utilizzi.
The same thing as you have with you in your systems, you put them in the water. As the water flows over it, carries the energy and is a free, uncontaminated fertilizer.
Questo,
You don't need to pay for fertilizers to be in what are called slavery of the nations.
non abbiamo più bisogno dei fertilizzanti perché si può mettere nel sistema dell'acqua e questo è un potentissimo fertilizzante senza nessun controeffetto.
You increase
Non
your
c'è più
harvest,
bisogno della schiavitù del fertilizzante.
you increase your harvest. If you put the seed in this liquid, which takes you 2 minutes to make, you can harvest in most driest places on this planet.
Se metti i semi dentro questo e puoi far crescere questi semi nei terreni più desertici.
Go on Keshe Foundation website, go on different channels of Keshe Foundation.
Andate sui vari canali della Keshe Foundation website.
These all been taught freely by different nationalities, and it's there.
Questo è insegnato da varie persone di varie nazionalità e sta lì nel website.
This is the flight system in our lab in the
Questo è
Sensano.
il sistema del volo.
This is what is known as a 129, and this is where you can get us. Distribute, if you want to be distributors of the technology, you can write to Distribution and Spaceship Institute. If you want to manufacture and you don't have the finances to do it, Keshe Foundation finances for you.
Se voi volete fare la produzione e non avete la produzione economica, noi vi possiamo aiutare in questo. Se volete
Anything
distribuire,
else you want, you can go to Keshe Foundation if you want to set up foundations around the world
se
for your
volete
nation.
creare una fondazione in giro per il mondo, noi siamo qui per assistere.
Remember one thing, you made a mistake shaking hand with me and accepting a box.
E avete fatto uno sbaglio a dargli la mano e prendere una scatola.
This is the news of peace.
Questa è la notizia della pace.
Now you have committed yourself to it.
E adesso voi siete dediti alla pace.
You committed your nations to one thing, for them to be prosperous, for them not to be tied up to oil, to coal, to any nuclear base.
Avete portato la prosperità alle vostre nazioni e non avete più bisogno di legami all'olio né ai centri nucleari.
And that is, please share it. I'll give you 10 days.
Per favore compartitelo con i vostri governatori. Io vi do solo 10
Because
giorni.
after 10 days, I'll teach your nations, your nationals, how to do it.
Perché dopo 10 giorni lo insegnerò io personalmente ai vostri,
They will
al
not
vostro
need
popolo nazionale.
electricity to
Non
go.
avranno bisogno di elettricità,
They don't need water. They do not need medicine. They do not need
né medicina,
oil to run a car.
né
In
olio per
next
la loro mano.
6 to 12 months, as we develop the technology further,
Entro 6-12 mesi nessuno avrà bisogno di olio per la loro mano.
so I see there's a discussion going on. You ambassadors, you better go back very quick to the presidencies. There is a problem. It's called Keshe. We come to peace, or we won't be any more ambassadors because we
Noi
only
lavoreremo voi ambasciatori per la pace adesso, perché se no non esisterà
Because-
più l'ambasciatore.
our logo is very simple. One nation, one planet,
Una, no-
one race.
una nazione, un pianeta, un pianeta.
As you know, this event for to be broadcast on the worldwide satellite structure was done by the support of the organization which is here. And they asked to have 10 minutes because they have the same ethos as us to spread the word of peace around the world.
Il broadcast stasera è stato portato da Keywell Television, che adesso hanno chiesto di potersi presentare perché hanno lo stesso ethos che Keshe Foundation.
They have paid for 2 hours of release around the world on satellite. You're worldwide, more or less been seen.
Hanno pagato loro personalmente per questo broadcast mondiale.
We let them to explain their position, and after that, because the satellite time finishes, I answer questions which goes on the Keshe Foundation normal channels.
Adesso vi lascio il spazio per potersi spiegare e dopo, quando il satellite è chiuso, continuerò con domande, vi darò le risposte a qualsiasi domanda.
Is there any member of the organization who wants to speak? Thank you very much for sharing.
Shake hands.
Thank you very much.
Nuova che partirà da dicembre di quest'anno.
Keyword Television is a new broadcast which will start the programs at the 1st of January. December.
The end of December, alla fine di dicembre. È una televisione che è la prima televisione in Italia che partirà in Ultra HD, quindi in 4 volte HD.
It's the first television in Italy which broadcasts in Ultra HD, so it's 4K, very high definition.
Intendiamo fare una televisione nuova, una televisione che avrà a base l'etica, che avrà a base le buone azioni, il buon comportamento, cose nuove e la verità in fondo.
We just want to have a new television, a television that has a mission, an ethos, something to fight for.
Porteremo avanti anche una nuova concezione di telegiornale. Vogliamo fare un telegiornale intanto in 27 lingue per far capire ai 27 paesi dell'Unione Europea chi siamo, perché abbiamo fatto una moneta unica, ma non abbiamo fatto una Europa unica di popoli.
Keyword Television will also start with a new news program, which is in 27 languages, 27 as the countries of the European Union. So because European Union is there, everybody, but nobody knows each other. So we want to build up this sense of community in our Europe, because we are all European.
Faremo anche un telegiornale in 10 lingue di 10 paesi importanti del mondo per farci conoscere e per conoscere questi paesi.
We also will have 10 languages more to unite all the world also.
Ma principalmente vorremmo portare a conoscenza di tutto il mondo questo paese, l'Italia, le sue eccellenze e ricordare a tutto il mondo che finalmente non debbano più vederci come il paese della mafia e delle cose che non vanno. Vi diremo tutte le cose che vanno.
We also want to give a different image of Italy, as we had it before, a place where really peace and excellencies are present in our country, so a different image for real.
Ci saranno persone con una grande esperienza alle spalle e daremo spazio ai giovani per poter dire ciò che pensano, ciò che vogliono, ciò che vorrebbero avere e ottenere.
There are professionals behind our back, but also creative forces which are young. So it's meant keyword television to be both sides, professionality and youth, creativity and future.
Questo per dire che non dimenticheremo ovviamente i nostri anziani con la loro contribuzione.
Okay. It looks like we have a temporary glitch in the sound here. It's not coming through, so bear with us as we get that fixed.
Yes, just hold on one moment while we try to get the sound back.
Sound check.
Ma il fatto è che non è ancora capito di quale entità lui comincia adesso a collaborare.
Man has been fighting so long that he's forgotten peace is so easy.
L'uomo ha lottato per così tante migliaia di anni che ha dimenticato che la pace è tanto facile.
Now, we have given you every reason to bring peace.
Adesso vi abbiamo portato ogni ragione per portare la pace.
As much as energy you want,
Quanta energia volete?
as much water as you want,
Quanta acqua volete?
as much energy or food you want,
Quanto alimenti, nutrimenti che avete bisogno?
every way to cure every disease,
Ogni modo di curare ogni malattia,
produce as much gold as you like,
di produrre quanto oro volete,
all at the cost of less than $10
tutto al costo di meno di 10
for as
dollari,
long as you want.
per quanto tempo voi lo desiderate.
The only thing is, ask your scientists to open the keys, read how to make it. In 24 hours, they will do it. And then tell your national governments the time of abuse is finished by the bigger nations and by us on our nationals.
Adesso basta che aprite la chiavetta, la portate ai vostri scienziati, entro 24 ore lo potete fare e portare ai vostri governi e dirgli la notizia che il tempo della dipendenza di chiunque è finita.
And I'll give you one promise. You ask us, you don't understand. Somebody from the Keshe Foundation around the world, or a lot of them, will land in your nation, teach you, and they go away without asking for anything.
Vi giuro inoltre che qualsiasi problema che avete, ci contattate, delle persone della Keshe Foundation arriverà nella vostra nazione, vi risolverà i vostri problemi e se ne andrà senza chiedere neanche un euro.
We are the new missionaries. We are missionaries of peace and knowledge.
Noi siamo i nuovi missionari della conoscenza e della pace.
And the Keshe Foundation is the only institute, not only talk about peace, but it has the tool to deliver peace.
Siamo l'unico istituto che non solo parla della pace, ma attraverso la sua tecnologia la può offrire.
I have asked the Iranian government for the 4th peace conference to be held in Tehran.
Io ho chiesto che per la quarta incontro della pace sia tenuto in Teheran.
If we don't come to an agreement, we most probably meet in April in China.
Se non riusciamo a trovare un accordo, allora sarà in Cina.
You got to understand, as I said, a lot of you know, the Saudi prince who used to be a member of the cabinet a few weeks ago, I said, do not tank any more oil and send them on the high seas because there'll be no customers for them.
Il principe della Saudi Arabia, che è venuto a conoscenza di questa tecnologia, ha già ordinato di smettere il prendere il petrolio perché dice tra poco non ci saranno più dei customers.
I have something very strange to tell you, if I can find it. We got rid of it, I think it's somewhere here. The piece of wire, there it is. Which battery do you want me to change? My pocket. This one. This one. You know this wire? Broken machine.
He just said the Y was born.
Is enough to feed an population with energy for at least 200-300 years.
La lunghezza di questo filo, quando è messo con il mano sopra il filo, è abbastanza per
Would you like to feed a family in Palestine?
africana per
Yes.
300 anni.
All it is, just strip it, put it in the caustic, wind it, and it gives you energy for life.
La devi solo togliere da qua, mettere dentro,
You need the wire and nothing else. It's so simple.
girarlo e questo produce.
It's a source of
That's all. The wire inside. All you need to do is to pull it out, strip it from its plastic. Yeah. All you're going to get is copper. I'm not that strong enough. I used to be able to pull these things apart very easy. If you do it, this is what's going to happen. You create nanomaterials inside, and all you need to do is to wind. Excuse me, quiet in the back, you two children. Unfortunately, it's the Keshe Foundation, guys. I have to enforce my authority, which is none. So all you need to do is to wind it, but wind it anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise. You have enough food and energy for generations.
E avrei abbastanza energia e cibo per generazioni.
Every broken piece of electric goods which the Western world dumped in Africa to get rid of the computers now is an asset.
Tutti i pezzi elettronica, elettrica abbandonata e messa in
Every piece of battery we dumped on you because we couldn't hold it in the West is energy for one family to feed for life.
Ogni batteria scaricato dall'Occidente in Africa.
And it only costs less than 10 cents.
Il nutrimento per una famiglia intera, per una vita intera. E costa meno che 100.
Every single one of you can free your nation from hunger and the burden of what the West has done to you.
Potete liberare ogni nazione dalla fame.
No child in Palestine should go sleeping hungry and get bombed at night.
Nessun bambino nella Palestina deve addormentarsi affamato.
I put a hand for peace to the government of Israel between Iran and the Arab nations less than 2 weeks ago, and it was refused.
Il governo dell'Israele e tutte le nazioni arabe.
Now you will understand there will be no nation of Israel to exist when the Palestinians, by having everything, will love and care for the Israelis because they don't need them, but they become friendly neighbors and live as one family. This is what our mission is. We don't fight. We give enough that everybody has that they don't need to fight.
Non litighiamo, diamo abbastanza abbondanza che nessuno avrà più bisogno di litigare.
I'm not a sentimental man. I'm a scientist who knows exactly what he's doing.
Non sono un uomo sentimentale, sono uno scienziato che sa esattamente quello che sta dicendo.
So understand one thing.
Capite una cosa?
Use the new technology to bring peace.
Utilizzata la nuova tecnologia per portare la pace.
Or your nationals will have so much that they don't need no nation. They'll live peaceful life amongst each other.
O i nazionali della vostra nazione comunque gli sarà dato tutta questa abbondanza e non avrà più bisogno di voi.
I promise by 21st of August this year, I bring a satellite down to show the strength of this technology.
Io ho promesso a luglio che potevo controllare un satellite per farvi mostrare il potere di questa tecnologia.
The only satellite I brought down is a satellite of kingship, presidentship, and nationhood.
L'unico satellite che sto facendo veramente cadere è quello dei reali e dei vecchi poteri.
Remember one thing where I started this discussion. If you understood how, what has been the biggest barrier in the world of energy, that now we can eat in one room from the same sources, where the lion can eat the same as the deer, because you can even feed the animals through the energy that they don't even eat each other anymore.
Possiamo addirittura nutrire gli animali energeticamente in modo che i carnivori non avranno più bisogno di
And
essere carnivori.
this was the promise of the Christ,
Questo fu la promessa di Cristo,
that the two animals would sleep together in one nest.
che il leone e il cervo dormivano nello stesso.
They ate each other because of the hunger. Now there is no hunger. There is no hunger.
Adesso non c'è più la fame e non c'è più bisogno di mangiare.
As I said, if gold is the creation of war, now if you understood how 240 and 210 can be made from the same point, and a little bit of imagination, understanding, you can produce as much gold as it's in the United Kingdom gold reserve for every African nation.
Adesso che avete capito o forse intuito che potete creare tutte le forme di energia dalla stessa sorgente, che con un po' di immaginazione se possiamo fare aranci, possiamo fare oro e le nazioni africane possono fare tutto l'oro che c'è in
I tell you the last word.
L'ultima parola.
It says Maghrab's power.
Potere Maghreb.
This is Maghreb power to human race, to live one race, one nation, one planet. The rest depends on you, because now we deliver the technology to every man on this planet. You've got 10 days, gentlemen and ladies.
Come Maghreb potere è un potere, una nazione, una
And
parte.
believe you me, you will say very soon, I was there when I used to be an ambassador, and you finish with all the countries. We're all one country, one nation. And we started from tonight. I challenge you, maybe you ambassadors understand something. Ask your government to allow what we put on the road peace map. 21st, 22nd of each month for next 2 months. No soldiers, fires, no arms.
Noi abbiamo messo sul roadmap il sentiero della pace, mentre che voi riporterete questo Maghreb Power, vi dovete rendere coscienti che 2 giorni del mese non hanno il diritto di sparare o creare nessun armamento.
In December, January, and February, 3 days a month.
In dicembre, gennaio e febbraio saranno 3 giorni al mese di pace assoluta.
And then read the rest of the roadmap. By end of next year, you don't need no armies.
E poi leggete il resto del sentiero della pace, il roadmap, e non ci sarà più bisogno di armamenti né di sparare nessun armamento.
The best example is what's happening in Russia.
L'esempio migliore è quello che sta succedendo in Russia.
We got Armenia, we got Belarus, we got Georgia,
Abbiamo qui presenti
we got
Belarus,
Russia.
Armenia, Russia.
You've always been the same
State tutti ricevendo lo
as
stesso,
part of the Russian Empire.
come vecchio impero della Russia.
Whatever you call yourself in different names,
Anche se vi chiamate in diversi nomi,
you have borders, you trust each other.
voi avete delle
On
frontiere
those
che
borders, put arms down, not on the other side you're worried about.
questi armamenti delle frontiere ben conosciute bisogna abbassarli e non usare più
Do
armamenti.
the same in African nations.
Fate lo stesso in Africa.
On the borders, you feel safe, put arms down for those 2 days. And then you see it builds up.
Sulle frontiere, le frontiere dove voi vi sentite sicuri, in 2 giorni del roadmap, quelli non proprio metteteli in pace per 2 giorni, poi vedrete come tutto ciò si sviluppa.
President Putin has sent the roadmap to Duma,
President Putin
has sent the roadmap to Duma, to the Russian parliament people.
Il Presidente ha mandato il roadmap a Doma,
And I hope when Arman is in Russia, he can ask him what happened.
E potete chiedere al signore Armeno che cosa è successo.
So we all have reasons to have peace. We just don't want to accept it.
Abbiamo tutti ragioni per avere la pace, ma
E-
abbiamo solo il problema di accettare la pace.
If 27 nations in Europe have no borders and no armies, why not the rest of the world?
Se 27 nazioni europee non hanno frontiere con armamenti, perché non il resto del mondo?
So we've given you the tool of peace, the rest is with you.
Allora noi vi abbiamo dato lo strumento della pace, il resto lo dovete fare voi.
Are there any questions? Are you any questions?
Ci
Yes.
sono delle domande?
Do you want? I have to have a mic. Do we have a microphone?
Un microfono?
Would you like to come? I come to you. You can speak close to my heart.
My question is this a standard box plus how many amperes can it produce for the electricity?
Plasma produces as much amperage as you like. The beauty of it is, the question is how much amperage it uses.
How much?
Amperage.
Amperage. Quanta
can-
energia produce?
You can use it for as much as you like, as long as it's not resistive.
Potete
Resistive,
usarlo quanto volete, basta che non sia resistente.
when it's resistive, these boxes do between 2.2 and 3.2 or 3.2 kilowatts of resistive.
2 o 3.2 kilowatts.
And then if you have to pay a bill, you only pay more or less 40% of it.
Se avete da pagare
The other
una
60%
bolletta,
is free.
pagherete solo 40% della bolletta.
The free 60% comes from the energy of the plasma, which is getting released. The
Il
system,
60% dell'energia è dato dal plasma che sta essendo rilasciato.
the system is connected to the main to use its alternative power. It doesn't use the power. It
Connesso
uses
dentro la presa maggiore elettrica e usa
the pulse in current, it excites the plasma to release its energy. But at the same time, if you have anything like fridge freezers, you have lighting, which is all the LED and the rest is absolutely free. If you have
assolutamente gratis.
any computer, it's totally free.
Computer elettrico gratis.
Most of the household goods, which are brushless motors, is 100% free.
La gran parte degli implementi
But
di casa elettrici sono
In the
100%
next,
gratis.
in the next 4-6 weeks, we release a new version, hopefully, because we are testing that everything will be free. You don't need to connect to the power supply.
Entro
The
4-6
system will feed
settimane
itself to release its own energy of plasma. It's nearly done this morning. I was hoping that we can announce it, but till we don't have it 100% right, we don't talk.
speravo di rilasciare l'ultimo che ci vorranno
So-
altri 10 giorni, che invece tutto sarà 100%
So you can forget about this.
Potrete
gives you as
allora
much energy as you
dimenticare il
like.
filo
You connect it to the house electricity,
lo
and that's
mettete
all it is.
nel vostro sistema elettrico di casa e funzionerà.
So can the microamps power turn on AC, for example,
Yes,
by its own
yes,
without?
yes, of course it is.
Il mangiato
Because
accende
let me
la-
explain to you, understand, with us is not fairy tale, you have to understand.
Questo non è una favoletta.
The reason it does
La ragione per cui funziona
is that you have a copper wire,
è il filo di rame,
you nano coated it, which is, its own copper has been separated, so it's of the same material.
questi di rame hanno il nano
Then you put it in the salt and becomes free as what we call GANs. That's the whitest stuff you see. So now that we freed it as a plasma, we glue it back or brush it back on itself. Now the energy goes this way. Energy in this bracket is DC as much as you like, but when it comes to the matter, it converts to AC. So here you get the AC, and here you get DC. So you get both AC, DC at the same time from the same wire. You can have as much as you like from one or the other.
Potete avere due tipi di correnti simultaneamente.
AC is the vibration of electrons, which is in the matter state, and here is in superconductor nano, plus now you have little suns, which they release the energy. They force the energy in, it creates a vibration in the electrons of the copper, you get the AC and DC.
Any size of electricity.
Any kind, any size you like.
Nello stato di materia la corrente degli elettroni viene convertita e quindi si ha quel tipo di corrente.
Oh, our translator changed.
Yeah, no, I couldn't say technically, sorry.
Who's that? You're translating. Oh, Giovanni is translating now. It's okay. So it is a natural process. It's not something new. What you do, you separate the matter elements into a free plasma, and then free plasma is a sun. Then you collect this energy from what you released. That's why it looks so strange.
E questo è unico e particolare.
We teach, this has been taught very well in depth on the Keshe Foundation teaching channel.
E noi lo insegneremo, ci abbiamo già insegnato e saremo sempre a disposizione.
Any other question? Ambassador of Palestine.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. And really, we needed. I just came back from Expo Milan, and it's the World Food Day.
That's where all the ambassadors have been. You went for the food of life, I went for the food of the other way. Yes.
And they told us that there is 800,000 persons all over the world that they are in hunger.
Hanno detto all'Expo Milano che ci sono 800 milioni di persone affamate nel mondo.
So your theme is greatly appreciated.
You're welcome.
Perciò questo tema e queste invenzioni sono molto apprezzati.
For me as Palestinian, also it's greatly appreciated. And I'm asking, why don't you invite the Israeli ambassador?
We invited the Israeli ambassador. Yeah, last week, 2 weeks ago, I spoke directly with the highest level intelligence officers in the Israeli government in Mossad, asking His Excellency, the Prime Minister Netanyahu, to start negotiating. And the word came back because it's the level I work. I worked lifetime in that level. Was that not with you, Mr. Keshe? Not at all. Till we don't hand over Syria to Israel, there'll be no peace. And then there'll be Iran. And then it'll be the next. We all know what's going to happen.
La signora onorevole ha chiesto perché non è stato invitato un ambasciatore dell'Israele e il signor Keshe ha detto io l'ho invitato personalmente, ma loro non accettano, hanno fatto una dichiarazione che finché non ci sarà pace in Siria non ci sarà mai la pace.
Let me explain to you something. Let me explain to you something before you go. I'm half Jewish, I'm Kohen. I'm half Jewish, I'm half Kohen, which means I'm Kohen, which comes from the old Jewish family. I don't see what is the reason to kill a child, a man, for a piece of land, which is not going to be here very soon anyway. And somehow I cannot get Israelis or even the Iranian government to put their arms down to speak peace with each other. I invited both the Israeli officials and the Iranians to the office of the Keshe Foundation here in Italy. I said, if you cannot talk, we can talk. You see, the Iranian ambassador is not here either.
Io ho provato personalmente a fare incontrare l'ambasciatore dell'Iran e l'ambasciatore degli Israel, anche rappresentanti della Keshe Foundation, e non è stato possibile neanche far venire l'ambasciatore dell'Iran, come potete vedere.
Thank you. I'm coming for the other part of my question, because you gave us 10 days. And for me to get this and to go to Palestine or to send it to Palestine, it needs minimum 3 weeks just to send it.
Oh, then, forget about diplomatic bags. Ask in your embassy.
3 settimane per portare questa scatola
Ask, you got a key, don't send a pack. Put in a computer, send it to your president. Say, this is what has been given to me, that's what's on the table. 10 seconds. Everything which is in that box is in that key.
It doesn't mean that.
No, if you want to see it, the proof of the pudding is in eating it. I've shown you the system. We sold huge amount of these, and they're going to be selling more because now people, the mistake is people think they're going to get their unit and they don't pay any electricity bill and nothing else. It finishes. So, but with Palestine, it's more than that.
I want to send it to Gaza, which is blocked by all means, so probably people in Gaza can use it.
I go to Palestine, you organize it, I teach your people. Doesn't matter if Israeli tries to kill me, because it has to be
free. Il signor
free.
Keshe ha detto, anche se la scatola prende 3 settimane, io ti ho dato anche una chiavetta. Mettilo, mandalo già domani.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Poi ha invitato, se voi organizzate, io ve l'ho aggiunto e insegnato personalmente.
I have lived with Palestinians for years. I have supported Palestine as a nation, no, but as people for years in my business life. I don't see why a child, Israeli, Palestinian, Christian, or whatever, should go hungry because of the name of path to believe in God. If you believe in God, the name should not matter. And this is where the problem is.
Io sono mezzo ebreo, ma da una vita io non credo che nessun bambino israeliano, palestinese o cristiano debba morire di fame per le volontà di una nazione. E perciò non credo più nei nomi delle nazioni o le frontiere.
Any other question?
Ci sono altre domande?
Yes, ladies.
Non ho ben capito il funzionamento del supplemento da parte dell'acqua e delle sostanze del frutto. E ho seguito, era molto interessante perché riguarda l'argomento proprio del cibo, e non ho compreso se per ogni frutto si arricchisce un bicchiere d'acqua. Chiaramente se fosse così non sarebbe molto diverso dal fare una spremuta qualsiasi, quindi sicuramente c'è qualcosa che non ho capito.
She was asking about the water
orange.
and the oranges.
Yes.
Like she doesn't understand how
This is the promise of Christ.
Questa è una promessa di Cristo.
You're making wine out of water.
Fare il vino dall'acqua.
Now you have it.
Adesso ce l'avete.
You see, it's not just a glass of water.
Non è solo acqua, un bicchiere d'acqua.
This is done by all the Keshe Foundation supporters. In these tubes
In questi tubi
is the man who's made it is here. Armand explain. Come. It's done by everybody. What it is, you put the CO2 in a tube. When you are making a CO2, the combination of the materials of the air makes amino acid. You put in the other one, which is the base of life.
Quando metti la CO2,
And you put CH3, which is a sugar.
acidi,
Between them, they create gravitational magnetic field, which pulls down the gravitational magnetic field of the essence of the orange into the water.
e tirano l'energia gravitazionale
Because it has a protein base,
perché c'è
then
una base
it connects to the body of the man, the protein of the man. So it feeds you the energy of the substance. Our Nigerian guy,
prendere l'energia della sostanza.
he brought material, the vegetables which you make alcohol with in Nigeria, and he tested it the same way a couple of weeks ago by just putting the material on top and then putting it on a system. He got himself drunk for 2 days. He couldn't work.
C'era in Nigeria. Diceva,
It's the transfer of the energy of the plasma. You receive all the attributes, the energy, the taste, the smell, everything. Let me explain to you, understand. If you're a Keshe Foundation supporter, already know. Our Earth has a gaseous level and it has a matter level, which is what we walk on. On the gaseous level, on the upper atmosphere, we create nitrogen, which in interaction does 14. It creates 12, which is a carbon. And if you add, it becomes oxygen, which is 16. In a specific condition in this matter, when it comes in touch with a salt water, it creates amino acid, the basis of the protein. The life comes from the gas, and when it comes in touch with a solid surface, which is the earth with iron, in interaction, it makes hemoglobin. And if it comes in touch with the salt of the water, it makes fish because of the strength of it, being much more, not solid, but open. And if we increase in interaction, if it comes in interaction, excuse me, wait. If it comes in touch with magnesium, it becomes 3, vegetation.
E se diventa in contatto col magnesio, diventa un albero.
Now we understand how it works. We can do what we like. When you saw the pictures, as the amino acid is getting absorbed, touched with the salt, you produce amino acid, the fat. That's a pure amino acid. If you put a nail in it, you see it becomes blood. We produce in Keshe Foundation blood out of fresh air.
Noi possiamo
You can do it
creare
yourself.
sangue dall'aria.
You can do it yourself. This is how it's
voi la
done.
potete fare.
And so you can produce anything you like.
Potete produrre quello che volete.
It's the process of understanding the creation. And now we understand it. We can produce magnet for anything. You can produce.
È la più vicina comprensione di come funziona l'universo.
The Keshe Foundation supporters tell you how easy we produce this. All we do, we take copper, the copper which you have on your wires, you put it caustic, or you don't need caustic. You put it in the fire, the material separates into a nano. You put it with salt, with zinc, you produce CO2 in the middle. And then now you have your free sun to take energy from it. That's simple. That's simple. You don't have caustic in Africa. You don't have caustic in Africa, but you have a lot of fire. In Philippines, we produce nanomaterials by just firing it. That's simple. You don't need any investment to help your nation. And all it is, if you put these, if you get one of these, I open it for you to show you, and you can make a mixture of them. And literally, all you need to do, if you make a mixture of different gases of different materials, and all you need to do, if you put your glass of water in there, the water absorbs all the energy of what's in there, and you can drink it. You receive everything you need. And every day, all you need is a glass of water, because it never finishes.
Questa sorgente gas non finisce mai.
It never finishes. If you find the right composition of materials that sustains full life, gives energy to every cell, you never die. You never die of hunger. No child. I sat in the car in Gambia 15 years ago, and my driver said, the guy knocked on the window, and I wanted to help, and he said, please don't give him anything. He hasn't eaten for such a long time. He's going to die. You kill him. I said, why? He said, there is no stomach. The stomach has shrunk. He's just walking the last legs. And I saw the man die, and I promised myself I'll never let that happen again.
Anni fa ero in
So that's
Africa,
how it is. I have worked in Africa for a long time.
ho provato a aiutare un uomo e invece mi hanno proibito ed è morto.
And it's how simple it
E
is
ho
to feed
giurato
them.
che questo non
All they need to do is just get a glass of water and drink it. All the energy is given to the body.
invece in quel bicchiere di acqua c'è tutta l'energia che ci vuole per la
And we've seen our Chinese doctors of the Keshe Foundation. This is built by a doctor in China.
un dottore
And it's been sent to us. Now we're expanding. We can put every food you need, everything you need on every level.
qualsiasi nutrimento medicinale.
In these little reactors, this is a miniature of those. We put CO2, which is to do with nervous system, with emotion,
CO2 per il sistema
CH,
nervoso,
which is the energy,
CH per
and copper
l'energia,
oxide, which is this one, the green stuff on your thing.
il rame diossido, ossido di rame.
You put water here, and the water gets all the energies from everything you need.
E metti l'acqua qua,
This is
l'acqua ha
CO2.
tutta l'energia che
There's apple, there's orange. Almond has made this. Everything you need, you just put it in here. The food supply never dies. You can get everybody to drink from the same cup. They take what they need daily. Cost nothing. In Africa, you don't have these, but you have coconuts. Our African friends use coconuts as a reactor.
Sì, scusi, in Africa l'hanno fatto con la noce di cocco.
Io volevo fare scusi, un'altra domanda, perché ritengo veramente nobile questo, diciamo, suo lavoro, questa ricerca. Ma io mi chiedo se moriremo di eccesso di sazietà oppure di sovrappopolazione. E poi mi chiedo anche che cos'è che fa soffrire l'uomo. Non è soltanto un problema di fame, l'uomo soffre perché non vive bene le sue emozioni, soffre a causa dei suoi pensieri e di conseguenza una volta che diciamo, si risolve il problema diciamo, materiale della sopravvivenza, in realtà resta aperto il problema del conflitto.
That was a very long. I wish you could last that long, me asking a question.
No, io ho capito. She asked, in Western society where like abundance of nourishment exists, and energy, and still humanity, the West has this abundance, is very sad, depressed creature. And she finds that your work is extremely noble, but when everybody has everything they need, how is one going to cure?
We are sending you to space.
Ci liberano e ci mandano nello spazio.
We are a space organization.
Noi siamo un'organizzazione dello spazio.
If you find peace on this space, then the space is the next step.
Se trovi pace qua, the next, se trovate pace.
Can you tell us which country you come from? We have a question about which country he's ambassador of. He's ambassador, but we don't know which country.
Bougainville Islands.
Where is Bougainville Island?
Next to Papua New Guinea.
And you're a country.
My country, I'm Dutch.
I know.
Yes.
But you don't look like from Papua New Guinea, that's
No,
why.
I'm not.
What are you gonna do with this unit?
I'm going to bring it to the people there.
When? You got 10 days.
Well, like they're using diesel generators, and that costs a lot of money. Jesus. So they don't have fridges, and only at night they kind of have the diesel generators running to have some light.
If you have, if you have one diesel generator, you can feed the whole island. With these units at each home. Let me explain to you what is the next step coming up. We are testing it with a group of research.
Prossimo passo di Keshe Foundation.
You all use mobile phones.
Usate tutti i telefonini.
Now we have created a mobile energy system.
Noi abbiamo adesso creato un sistema mobile di energia.
It's the next generation, next 2-3 months. You don't
Tra
need any
2-3
cable.
mesi sarà già nato.
The system feeds itself, and whenever you put a system which is a receiver from this, which costs 2-3 cents the way we see it, it receives the energy from the source.
Si potranno usare come telefonini che ricevono dalla sorgente
You put
della
one in
scatola.
a village, the whole village will have energy. Cost less than $10.
Quando un villaggio già questo,
We are not dreamers.
potranno
This is what we are
mettere nella
testing
propria
now.
casa.
We in London, our Nigerian colleague produces. He gets a glass of water and he goes to the neighbor's house, and in the neighbor's house, the water starts producing CO2. Now it's an energy source. Because we understand the
Questo si
science.
espande a casa dei propri vicini, anche i benefici di ogni cosa.
So wireless energy units is within, we already tested it. It's just putting it in an order that can be released.
Il sistema senza i fili l'abbiamo già testato, ma lo vogliamo alla precisione prima di rilasciare.
If I had that on my hand, you would have had 2 days for your government to get there fast before everybody else does. But it needs development, and once we develop it, we release
Erano
it.
già pronti, le davo ai governi
So
così.
does it need an app on your smartphone to connect to the device?
No, the app itself, it just knows where it is. You
Okay.
produce, because when you produce this material, which is a copper oxide, it comes from this system.
Ha preso il signore
So it's connected to your system.
per poter ricevere l'energia.
We-
No, comunica da solo.
It's like a mother and child. They have a connection, they transfer energy across to each other. So all you need to do when you make your unit, you take the gans of it, you take the nanomaterial of it, and when you buy a new fridge, when you buy a new electrical goods, you just spray it on the system. So it connects to deliver to the power
Tu
source.
prendi un gun
So
della scatola e compri un nuovo frigo e basterà spostare un po' di questo gun che potrà rielaborare, perché non è
So,
energia, è
all it is this, because you release each plasma is like a magnet. So it has a connection with other magnet. So it keeps the connection very careful. But let me explain to you, this is far-fetched to you ambassadors and the scientists. But the Keshe Foundation people know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is why you all came and you all are listening. Excuse me. This is the reason you all came. All the Keshe Foundation supporters, they were waiting for this. And I give you this as a
I
gift.
ricercatori stavano aspettando proprio questa chicca.
You've been waiting to be able to energize your reactors to create what you call a spaceship.
Come energizzare i vostri reattori per creare una nave spaziale.
My dear students, it's in front of you and you're blind.
E adesso è qui di fronte a voi.
You see this, the plasma you produce, which feeds any tool, anything you like.
Il plasma che voi prodotte nutre qualsiasi cosa che volete.
Now connect your reactors to your energy systems.
Adesso
You
voi
should
collegate i
find
reattori
within the
al
next 2
sistema
weeks, we should see
energetico.
people who've had these reactors should be able to, because now you had the cause, you had the gravitational magnetic field, you saw the increased lift and reduction, but you had no way to energize it. Transfer, you don't need to translate it. This is what the Keshe Foundation supporters around the world. Because to these people, it's too far-fetched, but they are producing it. There are thousands of people around the world which have produced these systems and are waiting to fly. They move, they reduce weight. There is a famous one in China, the big boy, the fat boy. But they can't energize it to create gravitational field lift. Now, I gave you the biggest clue you wanted to be a spaceman. Connect your plasma, forget about this. Connect your plasma, voila. Out of here, I give you the gift tonight, if you understand it. Connect your plasma. Now you feed your reactors. Am I
Per
correct?
nutrire il vostro reattore.
Now you understand. You were looking to create that energy to tip over the lift. You got it.
E così
Do you understand?
permettete il volo. Sì. Come si?
Se connettete il plasma del CET del reattore, questo vi permetterà di creare
What you do, you connect your plasma to each reactor. You control how much plasma you feed to each reactor. Voila.
Se voi connettete
You understand?
a ogni reattore,
So
siete in grado di
now
capire
you're
e
looking
sentire
for the
quanto
energy source.
campo
You
vi
got
serve
your
per ogni
energy
reattore,
source.
quindi di volare.
You should be able to create flight crossing nations like nothing.
Potrete allora volare da una nazione all'altra come se non fosse niente.
So now you understand, Armin? You still want to go to Armenia tomorrow to see the president, or do you want to fly first? You still
Vuoi
want to see the
andare a
president?
vedere il presidente dell'Armenia o vuoi volare per prima?
But what are you flying in then?
Oh, still a jet.
Ma vogliamo
Let me explain to you what it is. Where is it? In 3 or 4 African nations, people have made these literally with $5 scrap materials.
In 3-4 nazioni africane ci sono persone che hanno fatto questo con meno di $5.
African nations were going to space before NASA does.
Cioè, le nazioni africane
Believe it,
andranno
because we
nel
see them.
spazio
They
prima
show it to us on the internet. You never knew about the Keshe Foundation. Go, ask, look, Keshe Foundation Ethiopia, Keshe Foundation Nigeria, Keshe Foundation even in Gambia, South Africa. They are building it with screws and panels and what was the one? Caroline, what's the one? Which country the guy has made it from spare parts? He said just a few dollars. And it's put it because it still works. Now the problem was how to energize it to go, because in the center of these is the same plasma which made these. Now you can energize it direct.
In questa maniera c'è una trasmissione diretta.
You understand? Yes. Sorry, but this was a private joke between the Keshe Foundations around the world. Now they're kicking each other.
Questo era un insegnamento per il Keshe Foundation, notizie di ultima guardia.
Okay, good evening, and
Yes.
my name is Haruna Rashid Kruma, from the Liberian Permanent Representation here in Rome.
Yes. Yes.
I said my name is Haruna Rashid Kruma from the Permanent Representation of Liberia.
Yes.
Here in Rome. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Allow me, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
It's still called, my name is there, Keshe Foundation.
Keshe Foundation. Allow me to thank you for the opportunity for us to be here tonight to listen to a kind of a detailed scientific presentation to us. But quite frankly, I must admit that I stand very confused, and I will assume a lot of people in this hall also have similar situation. I have two concerns, sir.
Yeah.
The first thing is I would like to appeal to you to make a presentation a little bit more, bring it to a layman level language.
Yes.
Because we see that the presentation is more highly scientific, that some of us that do not have scientific background seem to be in limbo. We don't really understand. We have not really captured what you're really trying to say.
I understand.
And I can confess to you personally, I'm really afraid of what you really explained here. It looks more of a magic to me.
It is a magic.
And I'm afraid to even take it home tonight.
I'll have it back. Any librarian wants to take one home?
Il rappresentante dell'Iberia ha espresso il desiderio di conoscere queste cose con
We
un linguaggio
presume,
più
let me
semplice.
explain.
Ha quasi un spavento e dice
We presume,
la magia.
we presumed,
Can I ask my second question?
yes, okay, yeah.
Thank you. My second question, and that's
Seconda domanda.
the presentation you get, you're talking about food. We can produce any level of food, power, and what have you. But we as government and associated with as member nations of the United Nations, there has been and continue to be a huge effort to tackle the issue of food security and malnutrition. And if people here are aware of the SOFI report, the state of world food security, millions of people in the world continue to go to bed with hunger. And now you're telling us here tonight, from what I understand, that we can easily produce abundant food and power. What have you done? Why are you not helping? Can you?
They left me,
to overcome this
no,
problem?
first of all,
Please explain to us.
I'm a nuclear physicist. Secondly, they left me too long, too far, to do too much research, to publish too much, and to teach too many people. The way I put it this way, I have lived, worked among diplomatic corps and political governments for nearly 30 years. I have known more ambassadors and I slept in more presidents' beds than most probably you ever come to know. One thing I realized, a lot of ambassadors told me, when we go to the scientific presentations, we go well taught, we read, that we understand at least something about it before we go in. You should have done your homework before you come here, before I shock you. So that's your problem. When I was in Sierra Leone, the president of Sierra Leone, when he sent me to South Sierra Leone University, he said one thing to me, the ambassador. He said, Mehran, here we need everything. They've taken enough from us. We have the knowledge. We have the manpower. The only thing we don't have is we have lost the trust in ourselves. You're here to give us trust, that we trust ourselves that we can rebuild the nation. That's all you have. That's why everything has to be approved by United Nations, which is set up by the people to abuse you. So you should have done your homework. I've sat for days with ambassadors going to a conference. What is going to be that we go in there knowledgeable? Do your homework when you come next time, you won't get shocked. But if you look around Keshe Foundation, I started it, the Keshe Foundation is here. We could have filled this room 100 times over, but we didn't let anybody know till literally yesterday that this is the place of the conference. We have supporters around the world which they work and they share. Just go on the internet, put Keshe Foundation, your country, see who's working, who knows, and tell him, come and teach us. You don't have, it's impossible. If you are in this room from any country, there are hundreds of people in your country who are already doing it. don't need a handout from me. I teach it as a nuclear physicist. I know the nuclear structure. I've gone a step beyond nuclear, which is the plasma. That's why everything looks so strange. An atom is a plasma, the sun is a plasma, electron is a plasma. So it's the evolution in the science. I have not added anything to the knowledge of man, except man has been ignorant to what he knows. That's all. Yeah. I always have a good friend of mine. He's dead now. He used to be ambassador of what do you call it, Congo. He said to me one day, I can bring as much gold as I like and diamond out of Congo, but I can never give it back to my nation because they think I robbed them. Doesn't matter how much of it I'll take back for them to feed them. Because in Africa, you have come to look out for a handout, where you actually been given handouts to the others, but they denied you your rights. Without Africa, there is no Western countries. There is no copper. If you pick anything from here, you show me what is the foundation of it. Africa, the copper, the mines of minerals. I worked in Africa too long. I have too much respect, but the only thing you lost is the confidence in you do. So you wait for the others. I gave a lecture in the nuclear center of the South Korean government a few years ago. And the government invited the top nuclear physicists to the lecture, top 14, 15 of them. And at the end, the guy told me, we were expecting this technology to come in them from America in 40 years. I said, you consider yourself so low that you wait for a handout from America in 40 years? You can't think for yourselves? The education is free. I teach every day, more or less, on the internet. We have teachers. There are a number of teachers of the Keshe Foundation in this room. They go freely, they teach. They teach how to make these things, how to do, how it is, what's the condition, what they do. But it's you have to accept or understand, now the point has come that we change the course. We waited too long for the government. You saw that USB stick? I went to every embassy which asked for, I gave them to them. South Sudan ambassador to Brussels 2.5 years ago, he came to our office 2 or 3 times. What happened to the key? What happened to the knowledge we gave him? The problem is not us. The problem is not you as ambassadors or the delegations. The problem is back in your nations, the people have to be kept. Now we have no nation. We become science without borders, but everybody shares in the science. They teach you that. Just go on the Keshe Foundation, go on a Thursday teaching in the morning or Tuesday afternoons. You see the Mexicans, they come and teach freely how they grow seeds, how they done it. The Chinese, I thank them. We learn so much from the Chinese Keshe Foundation community every 2 weeks. They come freely, they teach us everything they've learned, and they are proud to share it. White, black, we don't have. The last term, Nigerian gentleman came from London. I stood next to an American woman and taught the American woman how to make a free energy system. We don't accept colors, we don't accept race, no religion. And we freely, all of us, freely share. To you as in the government is because now you know why you're afraid of it, you're going to be the biggest problem for you, you lost control. You have no more control because people in 10 days' time, they start feeding themselves. They start creating energy. I buy one orange and I can transfer its energy in a water that I can keep taking orange from it. Why do I need? Oranges will be on the streets, nobody wants them. Yeah, I was explaining the other day how much you're talking energy, there is no crisis in energy. How come if there is crisis in Africa, in Gambia, children die of hunger, plane loads of food shipped every day to Europe from Gambia? Why doesn't the nation feed their own first? On whose back? Don't ever put yourself down. You're the richest continent. The same with other nations, South America. Now your people have the freedom. Hence, for the pain, for your cancer, everything is there. Europeans are the same. In Europe, it's fair coats and no knickers. Few people are rich. A lot of children sleep hungry here too. Why should they? I promise in the coming weeks, we put these units in the poorest area of Italy for people to pick up that they can feed and have money not to pay for lights and services. Because I have enough. I live a good life and I share my knowledge. And somehow it comes back to me. But we are a space program. These are all byproducts. That's why I said to our people, you don't understand, we have achieved lift. We can create condition that you can take from any garden anywhere. So you don't need fuel. Please don't underestimate, as I said to the Palestinian ambassador, don't wait to send the box, I gave you a key. We are in the 21st century. Code it is in the government say, you're going to get destroyed. Do something about it because in 10 days' time, everybody knows. We all know it's nothing. In 10 days' time, the only thing I'm doing, I'm taking the cover off and showing people how to do it. The key you have, last time we waited 2 years. Now in 10 days, everybody has it. That's the only difference. And there's enough in Africa, the rest of the world to support yourself. Any other question?
Senta, intanto la volevo ringraziare tantissimo, 1000 volte, che ci ha aperto questo orizzonte.
I thank you 1,000 times for opening this
E poi
horizon.
volevo chiedere, c'è stata qualche, o c'è qualche controindicazione? Potremmo utilizzarla male, questa macchina? Per esempio la mettiamo all'inizio della casa, dove sta il contatore, però magari vicino passano i tubi del gas.
Is there any danger in using these elements? Maybe you put it next to the electric.
Do you know what these elements are made of? Do you know what these elements are made of?
Conosci questi elementi di cosa sono fatti?
Abbastanza. Ho visto dei filmati.
Now let me tell you. Your stomach, your heart, your brain is made of this. If you're afraid of yourself, you're afraid of this.
Il stomaco, il cervello, il cuore è fatto della stessa cosa. Se hai paura di te stesso, avrai paura di questo.
It's a natural material.
È un materiale
It is as natural as you are.
Benissimo, voglio capire se c'è qualche rischio, dove possiamo sbagliare.
The risk is you.
Il rischio sei tu.
That's all. If you eat too much, you go fat. If you don't take care when you cross the road, you get killed. Don't use too much of it. Know how much you use. You're perfectly well looked after.
Devi usare una quantità dignitosa e i rischi sono come tutti i rischi nella vita, come attraversare la strada. Però no, non ci sono veri pericoli o controeffetti.
This is how you explain to me. Very simple. This is copper. I heat it in a barbecue shop. I make a barbecue. I heat it up. It becomes black. I put it in the salt.
La metto nel sale.
And I get this.
E mi viene questo.
Tell me what's the risk, copper or this?
Cos'è più rischioso?
The one who say there is a risk, the one who want to stop you from freedom of their
Le persone
control.
che dicono che è rischioso e vogliono che tu non sei libero di usare questa energia.
I don't do anything else. From this to this, and then glue it back is yours.
Cioè faccio questo e questo e questi si rincolano le cellule del sistema.
Ok, grazie.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Professor. Can you know in the health field how works the pen or devices? Is some kind of a cellular renovation or on a...
Just 1 second, 1 second.
Can you explain if it works out?
We do that, I'll explain. Sorry about that.
I wish to know in the field of health,
Yes.
in the field of health, how works the device? Is like the renovation of cellular...
No, let me explain to you.
Nella parte medica c'è una rinnovazione delle cellule.
If you are in the Keshe Foundation, they can explain to you. You don't need me. I'm a layman. These guys are professors.
Sono tutti professori.
Yes, very, very useful.
For example, the disease like the Alzheimer's...
No, wait. We do something. Let's talk about the pen. This pen, inside it, has and creates directional magnetic gravitational field. Notice the word I use, gravitational and magnetical, which means it pulls to itself and it releases fields both ways, like Earth. Earth has both gravity and magnetic, what we call the atmosphere. When you put the pen on the skin and you have a pen here underneath, it's again a plasma because it's of the same thing. Both it has gravitational and magnetical. It pulls to itself and releases energy. What happens? What it releases, it goes to gravitation of this. What it needs, it receives. It finds its balance and you have no pain. Usually they're saying 10 seconds.
It means that we can repair the old cellular?
You don't repair, you give it a chance of balance. It balances itself because this cell here is this big. The rest of the cells are this size, which means they have a standard strength. So this is abnormal to the condition. So all it does, it gives and takes to become in normal condition, the pain finishes. You understand? Now we understand gravity and magnetic field, and that's how it happens.
Noi adesso capiamo la gravità dei campi magnetici e perciò possiamo dare questo.
Thank you. The last question. One question, there is the last question, there we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Dave. Just on this last topic, when I heal my finger, I damaged it with an ankle grinder. The tissue is damaged and everything. Will a pen like this can help in such a...
You use a different thing, what we call the pad. You create a gravitational magnetic field around your finger. If this is your finger, you use a pad around it, and it does the same thing. But because it's naturally done, the speed of process of growth and change is much faster. And I can tell you from my own experience, it works 100%. Everybody knows, I broke 10 ribs in 15 days. I gave a 5-hour lecture with no sign of breakage in my ribs.
I heard this anecdote, so I was
Yeah, you can do it.
One practical question. In order to have a worldwide effect, for how much can you sell your microwave technology to people?
We don't sell. I've done a very clever things. I'm much cleverer than you are. Somebody told me he's a new, what was it called? New nuclear Robin Hood. I'm very clear. System might cost us $100 or $200. Yeah? To build it, the manufacturing cost, maybe $50. I'm telling you, I want $800 for the system. 500 of it is for the system. $300 of it, euro of it is for paying to your government for replacing the jobs which are causing to lose, and I pay my taxes and everything else. So I make a very good profit of, let's say, 400 euro per unit. Yeah, it's a beautiful profit. Yeah? My profit, the 400 euro, goes to make 4 more units to give 2 Italians and 2 to Africans. I rob from the rich to give to the poor. The beauty of it is the rich enjoys giving it to me to help the poor, because a man who pays 800 euro for the unit for electricity, the power unit, just for the standard DC currents and a bit of AC, he most probably uses 3,000–4,000 euro of power a year. He saves his money, I save the others.
I live off grid in Asia, and I work as self-dependent, and I pay much more than this money, obviously. But the 800 euros is this for
life.
For 2.0 or for this one?
2.2, 2.6. That's a 2.2 resistive. But anything else is free. You choose as many computers, convert the energy to light, it's free. You can light up your house, free. Yeah? You understand? So, but what it is, very straightforward. You go, the Chinese most probably make my systems for $50. And I've told them, anybody sells it for 50, don't buy, because only the one who bought it will benefit and nobody else, and it's going to be chaos. You don't work the way we talk, we set it up. You don't come pay for your hospitals, there'll be no doctors to pay for, you can't repair your roads, you can't do anything. Do it the structure we done, this way we all benefit by it. Yeah? It's very important. They said he's robbing his thing. I don't. My account is open. We make, if it becomes 4 units, Italians will get 2 free. The 2 goes to the third world nations, which they cannot support. Yeah? So we work as one team, as one nation. We call it the day. That's the last question.
Buonasera. Allora, volevo chiedere per quanto riguardava il backup power. Si cambia al 100% o ha bisogno di essere legato alla rete urbana? Questa è la seconda domanda. Prego, può produrre, grazie.
Translate.
If the member of power unit gives 100% electricity, or do you need to be connected?
At the moment, you need to be connected to use the phase of the power. You don't use the power. If you don't use any resistive, like heating, everything is free. You need the pulse to release the energy from the plasma. And in about a few weeks' time, you don't even need to be connected. We're releasing a new system.
Per un paio di settimane ancora con questa struttura, se c'è resistenza con il riscaldamento ci possono essere del pagamento, però per tutte le unità elettriche della casa è completamente gratis. Entro un paio di settimane, tra poco sarà completamente gratis.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We are not exchanging technology. We are asking for a hand of peace. And then we'll see what we can do all together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What can I do this?
You need the wire of it.
Ah, really?
That's all you need. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. I hope you'll be successful.
Thank you very much.
If you need any help from us, we'll teach you.
Right.
Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Our man is in Nigeria.
Okay.
He can teach us.
Okay, Rick, I think we can just let it all settle out. John, could you put on some of that music for us, please? That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.